Alright, in this video, we will be going over every mention and everything that we know about Xiangli Yao. Thanks to a Reddit post made by PKK, I was informed of everything that we actually know about him because all of the mentions of him kind of go over your head in the early 1.0 sections because we didn't have the context of him actually being a playable character. So there were a lot of mentions of Xiangli Yao that we kind of just forgot about. So this video will be a video version of that Reddit post because not a lot of people have read it, and it will probably be easier to consume in a video form, and I want more people to be informed on everything that we know about Xiangli Yao, especially after the drip marketing video I made, and I said, oh, I don't think we know very much about these characters. The girl, the painting girl, we definitely don't know very much about her. Unless they said something very vaguely, we don't know anything about her. But Xiangli Yao, on the other hand, there has been mentions by characters like Mortefi, Baiji, Jinshi, Tao Chi, you know, the Hashu Academy. We knew that he was associated with the Hashu Academy because we saw him in a trailer with Mortefi, because that was the easiest way to know that he was associated with Hashu Academy, and then the many mentions. But now I'm gonna just go over everything that we know about. So from the drip marketing info, he says, as truth seekers, we gauge the universe from within a nutshell, and he'd love to hear our insight. And then in the archive of the drip marketing purse, we see Hashu Academy's principal investigator, Xiangli Yao, displays exceptional expertise in various research fields despite his young age. He is a gentle yet rational soul, embracing unique insights and commitment to the research of automata mechanics. And more info from the NPCs around the Hashu Academy and Mortefi. Mortefi considers him to be his rival and wants to outdo him, and people in the academy consider Mortefi to be number 2 compared to him. And we also learned that Mortefi met him years ago back in the New Federation's World Expo. The NPCs, you know, they point out Mortefi has been trying to outdo him, but it's not easy. Xiangli Yao is just built different. He is one of the most respected researchers there. He even serves as a academic leader of Hashu Academy. You know, the members of Hashu Academy, when he leaves, he usually leaves some documents with them, and it's kind of like extra homework, and he is always making breakthroughs, so they tend to struggle to keep up with him, but they stay because like they can at least try to keep up with his pace. In one of Mortefi's stories, character stories about Xiangli Yao, back in the New Federation, Mortefi had endless acclaim and was hailed as the country's youngest scientific prodigy until everything changed when he met a certain young man, which was Xiangli Yao. Back when Mortefi was 17, he still vividly remembers this encounter at the New Federation's World Expo. It was a masterpiece crafted from inexpensive materials, yet possessed the stability of the top-graded inventions. The design's apparent simplicity warrants in-depth research, with numerous papers devoted to it. While the design was simple and affordable, it outshined Mortefi's inventions in terms of practicality and usability. It was a true innovation for humanity, a stroke of genius. And Mortefi was staring at him in the crowd, and he stared back, and the only thing that Mortefi managed to memorize was the young man's place of origins, which was Huanglong. So far, we just know Xiangli Yao is just him. Even Mortefi, who was a acclaimed scientific prodigy, is even glazing him. So the Xiangli Yao is him. We also have character lines from Tao Chi and Baiji about him. Tao Chi notes that he is a great collaborator with the Ministry of Development. Their work typically overlaps with each other, so she consults him daily, and despite his genius and intellect and quick thinking, she has no issue keeping up with it. Baiji notes that he has a good temper. She has never seen him raise his voice in anger at anyone, and no matter how impossible the task sounds, he always delivers. And then back in Act 1, when we had to fix the sundial, it was actually him that Mortefi had called, and then we went inside his workshop, where we see a bunch of different things. We see 2 swords on the wall, and the sword kind of looks like the sword that we usually see in the promotional material. Yang Yang usually has this sword, the Rover usually has this sword, and we see an unusual device with a complex structure and a groove that can fit an entire arm, so one would assume that this is a part of his automata mechanic research, and his arm or something, maybe it recharges his arm or something. We see a shelf filled with an assortment of research materials and books, a feasibility of report on cooking tacit discord. That's very interesting. Court of Savant Mysteries, I could understand that because the Court of Savant also was researching automata mechanics. Ortiz and tenon joints in Huanglong architecture, and also resting on the shelf are various pieces of wood and copper, some credibly made and others carefully crafted. You can't really tell. It's very interesting because I could definitely see him having a story quest where where we learn about more of the Court of Savant automata mechanics stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if he, gives us more information on our relationship with Abby, or the, with the behind the us being the Lord Arbiter thing. What connection do we have with the Sentinel? If we inform him on that stuff, because everybody's glazing him. He is very smart. One thing that I have been thinking, this probably isn't going to happen, but seeing as when you see those two swords, we see a great sword and a regular sword, right? And the main character already uses the regular sword. I wonder if he hands us the great sword, can we now swap to a great sword? Like, I don't think in any game we've seen the MC be able to swap to a different weapon type. I can't say that for everything. At least comparatively to Genshin, you only swap the elements. If we could swap weapon type, I think that would be pretty cool. But that literally could just be me talking out of my ass. I doubt that will happen, but it is a cool little thing I was thinking about. Or like if he modifies us, but he probably wouldn't modify the rover. They just know it. That's ridiculous. He wouldn't do that. We learned that he made Jinchi's electronic to-do list. The magistrate was constantly overwhelmed with work, from military matters to city defense to civilian security issues. She had to handle everything, and the city hall is just filled with pending documents, and she likes handling everything on her own. So Jinchi prefers, to be present and listen to the people's demands firsthand. So she asked Xiangli Yao to create an electronic to-do list so she could access on the go, allowing her to review documents while attending to other tasks. Back in Act 1, we also know that the Sugar Pearl vaccine was actually tested on him and his mother. So the baby being fed the Sugar Pearl back in Act 1 was actually him. And yeah, that is everything that we know. There are apparently more NPCs that say some stuff, but after a while you don't really get those dialogue options. So this is really, it's probably just them more glazing him. A lot of this is just glazing him. So just mentioning him to be one of the most intelligent people, in the academy, in Hoshu Academy, his inventions and stuff, and his insights in automata mechanics and stuff like that. So I think that he's a very interesting character. Definitely, I'm more interested in him now. Spoiler warning for anyone out there, I'm about to say something. Leaks territory. Apparently, he is a gauntlet type lightning resonator, so it makes sense. I think I think I like that. It reminds me of a Genos type. I feel like his kit, that would be fire if he had like his animations were along the lines of Genos from One Punch Man. Like, imagine we get like a fight scene of him in his story quest where he's fighting with his mechanical arm. That would be fire. Shooting beams from his mechanic, that would be fire. I would want to see something like that. But I'm definitely interested in him. I think he's a very interesting character, and I do feel like his Tassin mark now, like seeing how smart he is, I would not be surprised if his Tassin mark is actually in his hair, on his brain, or something like that. You see his hair, you see that, but it's another Tassin mark on his arm, so it's probably his mechanical arm too. But like, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, that is everything that we know, thanks to PKK on Reddit. I'm gonna put the link in the description. Shout out to them. It was a very informative Reddit post to inform people that may not have known anything, and I wanted to make a video version of this in case people, not everyone is going to go on Reddit. A lot of people prefer a video form, and YouTube has more reach. So yeah, check out that Reddit post and upvote it if you haven't seen it. And yeah, that's about it. Let me know what y'all think. I am kind of more like excited about this character now, especially like with the context of the Court of Savant also being interested in automata mechanics, and he is, someone interested in automata mechanics, and the Court of Savant's research on automata mechanics was funded by a Fraxidus overseer of the Fraxidus. So like, there could be that plot potential, like it could potentially be a plot twist, and he's actually a Fraxidus overseer. But that's just speculation. That's just speculation. He might not be, but it could be a thing.